when we're having issues, especially if you have experience with dogs and you're coming to a place where you're having difficulty, you're you're not adjusting to the dog, in my opinion. I live in this observatory state of mind. I've spent, some time with Brenner. It's been almost a week now, but I've picked up on his little quirky behaviors and all the differences, his sensitivities and his doganality. Just like we have a personality, they have a doganality. But I've been paying attention to that, and so now I know how to finesse things. I've got a concept, an idea in my brain on how he's likely to react to certain things, so I can prevent myself from moving too fast. I know that he's got some sensitivity to leashes and tethers, and when he sees people reaching for him, that he assumes, and let that line out, thank you, that he assumes somebody's going to grab and pull him. And by knowing that, I'm making sure I'm not doing those average behaviors. I'll share this, that the fact that he's sticking with me the way he does when he feels uncomfortable, I prefer you to be behind me, not front of me. It's because I've been respectful of him. From the very moment we met, when I see him become nervous, I don't push too hard. I don't force him to do things. I'm patient. The patience is not convenient for me. Normally I have to be the most patient when I've got other things to do, and I don't really feel like I have the time to deal with this in the moment. But if I want to move forward, I take the time, I make the time, I adjust my schedule. People have to wait on me because I'm here for him. This applies to all of your dogs. If they're a little wild and crazy, then dog time, which I talk about a lot, is this is the greatest tool on the planet if you cannot trust your dog off leash. So go ahead and drop it. Now, if you don't feel comfortable dropping the long line, you need to get out here and work it with your hand in the end, but it's still, now you just got a giant leash. This isn't the closest thing you can get to it being free. You drop it, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's going to explore like I wish he would today. But most dogs, right now, he'll be sniffing and investigating and maybe trying to play and run, and the length of my Liberty line is going to change maybe. If I've got a dog who, on average, is going to hit that 50-foot marker plus, I'm going to have 70, 80, 90, 100 feet of Liberty line. I can adjust it. Right now, I think I've got 220 feet Liberty lines connected together, and that's just all we need today. But if he's going to have a larger radius, I need more than enough line to be able to stay in front of the end, because now I can stop him from getting too far if he doesn't respond. But I talk about this all the time. Dogs need freedom. They need time to be dogs. And this is a way that you can let them go out, roam and run, and let them be a dog. Let him sniff and potty and roll and chase and dig and all those good things. So, let me ask you this, my man. How do you think he feels right now? Do you think he's normal? Is he excited? Is he nervous or anxious? Or is he just in a good normal place? Normal place? Why is it important that we pet him when he's in a normal place right now? So he stays calm? That's one. Why would we not pet him if he were looking like he was nervous or afraid or anxious? That's one reason. So he said so he doesn't bite. So I will say however he feels in this moment is going to be attached and associated with everything that we're doing. And so I live this mantra here is whatever you love, you get more of. As a human, our brain is programmed amongst each other to console, love, and bring a lot of positivity to somebody who's not in the healthiest state of mind. It's a great thing and it works amongst us. And yes, you can see results with dogs when you love on them and they're nervous, that they become more comfortable. The downside is you're also telling them the nervousness, the anxiety, the fear that they're feeling in this moment. You're reinforcing it and you're agreeing with it. You're basically training them to continue this level of negative feelings. And if I want them to gain more confidence, I don't want to reinforce something on one end and comfort on the other. And normally one of the best things you can do is if I'm in this environment, I want to get him moving. Movement opens the brain. if you're in different situations where you are a little tight quarters, maybe you're in the house and you can't escape whatever's making them anxious, it's twofold. You need to block the dog from whatever they're reacting to or running from, but you've got to make sure the people, the dogs, the situation, you can't let everything make him nervous. You know, I deal with a lot of dogs that strangers are not a good thing to them, and it's the eye contact. It's people with a loving intention who love dogs, who come to the nervous, anxious dog, and they're staring at them. Oh, come here, cutie, come to me. Which is great if they are mediocre plus, middle ground plus confidence with new people. If they're below that mark, you're reinforcing weird and awkward. And so if you're an extrovert, you've got to put yourself in the mindset and have some empathy for somebody who's more of an introvert. So as an introvert who's a little socially shy, how do you feel if people come to you and go, come here, and the more nervous you get, the more we try to talk you into it. I get low, I've got treats, I've got this and that, and you're not understanding what they hate the most is this. It's the eyes, it's the body language. You're leaning towards them, you're coming into their bubble. And so as hard as it is, you got to get inside your human brain and take the love that we have for these animals and give them some space. I'm not against invitations, come here. And when they don't come to me, if they retract a little bit, if they hesitate, I stop with all of this. I don't stare. I break my eye contact. I can look at a dog without looking into their eyes. It's like I can look at the camera, but not look at the camera. I can break my eye contact and peripherally see what's going on, and I may back away. But I am paying attention to the response I'm getting from the dog, and is that what I want, and is that helping? Now, I know this is off topic of the Liberty line, but the Liberty line allows me to do this. There's not a leash in my hand. He's not tethered to me. I can get control, and he can learn to have a little independence. It is. There's nothing wrong with a leash, but do we do both? Is there balance in your life? And the reality is, most of us use a leash not only because our circumstances require it, but there are times in your house, in your neighborhood, in your front yard, in your backyard where you've got your dog on a leash. Excuse me. And we're doing this all the time. Tension. You're too close. I can create or grow. I can increase clinginess. Like if you can't tell, he has a tendency to cling to me, and there are times where that's normal and acceptable. But outside of that, I recognize with a guy like him, I don't want that. But if I've got him on a leash everywhere, I am creating a consistency of, you've got 4, 5, 6 feet depending on your leash, and this is what you do. He probably follows you around the house anyway, all the time. We need to balance that. But I'm teaching him right here all the time. And if you don't know better, there's a lot of tension. Now watch what the tension does. See the panic? I talk so much about close. Watch your foot. Close. That can be close but loose. I've got an anchor hand. I've got a slide hand. This hand is for communication. Touch. Notice I let it slide. If you're gripping your leash with the hand that's closest to the dog, he's gonna feel tension. I can move and he doesn't know it, but I'm also here if I'm not in the phase where I can trust him to feel. And you gotta be aware of your leash, your Liberty line. Don't let it get wrapped around your ankles or his. The dogs normally work it out. Mm-hmm. Good job. Gotta wake it up, puppy. I'm going to suggest you find solutions. Don't let yourself be the limitation. Don't create reasons and excuses. Start small. I don't care if you're in a townhouse with a tiny backyard. That means you only need 10 or 20 feet of line, right? Your Liberty line's shorter. Not everybody has a larger area to work with. Anything that's more than your average is different. For them, that's a big deal. They live in this world of confinement. I'm such a huge advocate for finding freedom to the highest degree that you can get it to. And yes, you need to step outside your comfort zone. If you pay enough attention, the line shouldn't get away from you. If I'm in a place with moving cars and dangerous streets and roaming dogs in the neighborhood or something that's just not trustworthy, I'm probably not going to drop the line, especially for a while. But you've got to keep the tension out of it. Tension is bad. If I walk around with this, I need slack in the line. Just got to adjust it. You're a primate as a human being, and part of your brain, when you don't know what to do, is to grasp, hold, pull, and control. It's ingrained in you. Some of us may have more of a tendency than others. Some of us don't do it at all. I know we are all different. I'm just trying to help you learn yourself, because try not to preach it too much, but it's so important. Become aware of yourself, sit back, detach, reflect, and watch. The dogs teach you.